Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Stocks, bringing you the daily Apple report for Friday, February 17th, 2023. Before I click on the charts, just want to encourage you to please click like and subscribe if you would. That helps us out a great deal. And please share the content if you would with friends and colleagues. I'll also mention before I jump into the big picture that in today's wickedstocks.com, we put out a stock advisory, a 10-minute video on Monday.com, the Israeli technology firm. They elicited positive earnings, so we show all the support and resistance areas, the price targets over the coming weeks and months on that. In the last week, two alone, we've done Microsoft, Google, and Applied Materials. We do the daily Triple Q, the daily SPY report that you never really see on YouTube. We've got a lot going on, wickedstocks.com. Please check us out. We offer a 5-day money-back guarantee. That's all I'm going to say about it. So here we are. Weekly chart, big picture, work our way down to the day itself. We came off of long-term support in the lower 120s back in January at the time, mentioning that the 170s, that 170.63 channel top, should be considered attainable later 23. We're about 2/3 of the way there as it is on the way up. We did test into this, what is now in the 138.72 to 143.41 region, where I had anticipated the possibility of topping out into March, possibly through March trade, and then falling back into the low 120s again. That obviously didn't happen. We closed above the 1/3 speed line. A week later, gapped above this channel top. This is our zone of long-term support. Just call it a wide zone, about $5 wide, that can absorb selling through the second quarter. And from here, we are now anticipating this 172.92 channel top as a 3 to 5 month target or sooner. I'll get to that or sooner in just a moment. So that is the big picture. Now for the day itself. I'm resting, if you will, in terms of support on 153.48. That descending channel top, still a valid level. Now, there was a bit of a head fake on Thursday morning when we opened just below it and then proceeded to push through it. But it is also correlating over the next couple of days with a very short-term rising channel bottom at 152.67. So this less than 1 point zone, 2-star support, able to contain selling into later next week, and above which we can over the next 3 to 5 days. This is the 3 to 5 day trend dynamic, above which 160.80 is anticipated. 160.80 is once again this longer-term descending speed line in combination with a 5/8 Fibonacci, AB, A being the all-time November 21 high. I think that was November. Sorry, no, that was probably December. It might have even been January of 22. In any event, against January, the more recent, this is a 1-year zone here, A, B. And on the way up, the low 160s is a meaningful test of resistance. Now, you'll see I do have 152.60, this former channel top, but really for the day itself, I just want you to know that I'm hinging off of this area here, 152.67 to 153.47, above which this market can recover from essentially Thursday's losses following, Wednesday's all-time high settlement, not all-time, I'm sorry, post-January high settlement. Holding above 153.40 will keep 157.50 in reach perhaps today. Now, all of these points, 155.33, that is the high settlement price on Wednesday, 156.33, that is the actual high from Thursday, 157.50 is this high here going back to, I believe that is October of last year. We came very close to testing it a couple of weeks ago. I think 157.38 was the high. So 157.50, if we push through it today, it is a Friday and all, it could happen. I think it's a long shot, but if so, we could, by the closing bell, reach into that 160 handle, 160.80. This speed line able to contain buying through next week, possibly into later March. We could fall off from here, back into the 130s, 140s again within a month or so of testing the low 160s. So for those of you who trade the 2 to 3 week, 3 to 5 week time horizon, and we push into the low 160s, you may have a go at buying, 140, I'll round it, 140 out of the money puts that don't expire for at least several months. That could be a decent play. But if we close above 160.80, you should liquidate that put acquisition and reach reach for 172 out of the money calls that don't expire for at least a month. You might go further out to preserve delta. I think it would take probably 2 to 3 weeks before reaching that 172.92 channel top, where we could top out through the second quarter, possibly into later year. And if settled above, would represent a meaningful long-term buy signal for Apple. We'll talk a lot about that and the upside objectives if we approach 172.92 in the coming weeks. But first, we have to contend with, at least for today, 152.67 to 153.48. I've mentioned a number of times how I'm still constructive above this area as we move into next week, anticipating that 160.80 long-term speed line. Hi, if you enjoy watching our daily Apple report, you'll love our daily Triple Q and SPY reports. They're presented in the same 5 to 10 minute video format. Our daily SPY and Triple Q analysis provides directional market signals that are correlated with highly specific price support and resistance levels. Whether your trading time horizon is short or longer term, we promise you a distinctive edge in your trading of the SPY and Triple Q. We offer a 5-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. So go to wicketstocks.com right now and start receiving your daily SPY and daily Triple Q reports today. Downside, though, I'm going to talk about the day itself. If for whatever reason we break, especially if we open below 152.67, this market is bearish out of the gates. I think it is possible we could test 148.64 on an intraday basis. I don't have that illustrated today. All the minor points on the way down are carefully chosen. They're legitimate levels, but 148.64, if you can imagine, drawing a trend line off these two highs here over the last couple of weeks and projecting an intermediate channel bottom against this low here, that comes in at 148.64. So if we break, especially if we open today below 152.67, 148.64 in reach, that is a good zone to buy. If you're a day trader, despite how ugly it may look at the time, that could be the backstop for the day. We could bounce nicely off of 148.64. I don't know if we could claw our way back to the 152, 153 area intraday, but if so, if we close today below 152.67, I think that's a decent go with down to that 143.41 level. This line here is misdrawn. It's an old line. The number's been changing, but the line should be more down in here, as you can imagine. 143.41 is, once again, this long-term channel top, and that represents the start of a zone down to 138.72. Let me go back to this chart here, because if we do close below 152.67, I think there's a case to be made that over the next several weeks we could fall to this 140.30 rising speed line. And I mentioned rising is the operative word here because as it moves higher through time, it right now is smack dab in the middle of this zone here. It will eventually intersect with 143.41. So there is another way to say this, that if we close today below 152.67, I think you can anticipate this 143.41 channel top over the next 2 to 3 weeks, where we could bottom out. By that point in time, that speed line that I mentioned here is rising. We could bottom out through March, quite possibly the balance of Q2 as we turn back up again. And from 143.41, we can round back up to the low 160s within a month or two of doing so. And that's where 3 to 5 months comes into play at 172.92. I'm calling that a 3 to 5 month target. We're about 2 weeks into that buy signal, and we're having trouble. If we top out in the low 160s, we can fall off, so forth and so on. If we settle today below 152.67, we're expecting weakness. These are all the different time frames. So, I break the time frame down into the day itself, which I've already described, 3 to 5 days, which I've already described, 2 to 3 weeks, which I've described, and 3 to 5 months, which I'm describing right now. I don't think that there's really much else to say without repeating myself, so I'm going to leave it at that. Check out wicketstocks.com and all the great work we're doing there. Very reasonable monthly price. We offer a 5-day money-back guarantee if you're not happy with what you see. I'll be back on Monday afternoon with Tuesday's Daily Tesla Report. We have it's President's Day, federal holiday on Monday, so the markets are closed. We will be back Monday afternoon with Tuesday's Daily Tesla Report. You have a great weekend.